beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mai, a Colombo Australian woman living in Melbourne, and welcome back to day 2 of Bookmas 2020. Today's Bookmas, it's a mouthful, Bookmas video is all about those books that were released this year, 2020, and I haven't had the chance to read, but I really want to read as soon as possible. I need to read this, I think there are 12, these 12 books between now until mid next year. That's the promise. And the first one is Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. So Ready Player 1 is one of my favorite sci-fi type of books. It's amazing. I read it and it was so novel for me. I'm not a very sci-fi fantasy reader. I really love Ready Player 1, and I'm one of those who believe that we did not need Ready Player 2. So I'm very skeptical, very scared. The second book that I really want to read as soon as possible is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And this book is a fantasy, I want to say. And what I hear, like, I'm not a big fan of reading the synopsis because sometimes the synopsis ruins the book for people, so I try not to read it. What I know about this book is that this is like a limbo. When people die, they go to this library where they can explore what would have happened if they have made a different decision. I think it won the Goodreads Awards. High expectations for this one. Number 3 in this list is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Susan Collins. And again, this is one of those books that nobody asked for. We were happy with the series already, so if you don't know anything about this book, then where were you? But this book is a prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, and there is a lot of opinions out there. I haven't heard them because I don't want to spoil the book, but it's what we know, what I know about this book. It follows President Snow. So it is centered in Snow's life, and no one is fan of him. So I just hope that this book doesn't turn him into a martyr. It is quite a chunky book, and I have to read it from now to July. Number 4 in this list is One by One by Ruth Ware. Ruth Ware is one of those writers that is a hit and miss with me. So it's a thriller writer. I read A Woman in Cabin 10 and I really liked it. Then I read The Turn of the Key and I didn't enjoy it. This is her latest book, and One by One, it has the vibe of And Then They Were None. It's typical who did it type of thriller, so it takes place in a mountain. So I'm very keen to read it. I heard that it's not that good, but again, with Ruth Ware, some people love it, some people hate it. So yeah, I'm keen to read it and see in which group I will fall. Then we have in what I think is number 5, we have Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. This is one of those that everyone is raving about it. I love the title, Anxious People. I suffer from anxiety, so I think I'm gonna feel identified with this book. I know that this book is about a group of strangers that are I don't know, I think they're in a bank or they are somewhere, and there is a thief, a bank robbery, and they get involved in a type of a crime or something, and they just start sharing their stories while they are being hostage or something like that. One bank robber, 7 strangers, and a really bad idea. The reason why I really want to read this is because Fredrik Backman is also the writer of A Man Called Ove, and that is one of the books that I read this year that is a 5-star for me. Oh my goodness, I have to reread the book. I watched the movie. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful, deep, it made me cry. I love how he writes. Then we have in number 6 Loveless by Alice Oseman, and actually this was very kindly gifted by me by HarperCollins. So the publisher, they were very kind and they sent me a copy for a review. I haven't get to it, and it's not because I don't want to, it's because this book, I know it's gonna spark a lot of feelings. So I don't want to rush into it. I actually want to read it once I'm on a holiday so I can take the day off and no worries about work or anything. And I want to read it and I want to savor every single page because Alice Oseman is amazing. I don't know where she gets all these ideas, and she is a superb writer. Okay, now let's move on to those that I really want to read, but I actually don't own them at the moment, although I will own them soon. First one is In Holidays by Christina Lauren. So this year I read my first Christina Lauren romantic novel, and it was The Honeymooners. And by this, The Honeymooners by far is my favorite romance of all time. I loved it. It was so funny and witty and entertaining, and it's just what I needed after all this isolation, COVID, health crisis, work crisis thing. Then we have One to Watch by Kate Stayman London, and this is also like a romance book, kind of, and it sounds so funny. It's about this plus-size woman who becomes the Bachelorette. I really like the topic, the inclusivity. Me being a plus-size woman, I know how hard it is to find women in literature. We feel identified not only by the way of thinking, but also by the way of looking. So I'm looking forward to read that book. Then we have the fantasy, The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. And I have heard so many good things about this book, and I think it's like cities are people, and then it's the relationship between cities, but it's actually a person. I don't know, I know very little about this book. People loved it because of the cultural commentary within the book. Then when we have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and again, I think I do have this one but in digital form, I'm pretty sure. And this is horror thriller type of book. So horror is not my cup of tea, but I heard that this book is a very well done horror book, and it's actually, I think it won the Horror Goodreads Awards for 2020. So I'm very keen to read it. Plus it's from an author that has Latin American roots. So yes! Then we have The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. This is a top seller. It's been everywhere. I don't think I have it. I don't know what I have and what I don't have. It must be somewhere. So The Vanishing Half, and I think it's about two sisters, and that's the only thing that I know. It's a fiction, like a literature fiction. So yeah, I mean, it's meant to be very intense. Then we have a non-fiction book called The Beauty in Breaking by Michelle Harper, and I think she is a doctor, or she was a surgeon or something like that. I think it's about her experience as being a doctor, similar to And This Is Gonna Hurt by Adam Kay. I think it's similar to this, but the cover is beautiful. It's like a lemon or a mandarin. It's yellow or orange. Again, I don't know much about this book. Someone said that it was really good, and I really connected to the topic, and I put it in my list. I actually don't know much about it, but I know that I want to read it. Is that 12? Have we finished? Yes, and those were the 12 books that I want to read that were 2020 releases that I haven't had the chance to read. Half of them I already have in here. Half of them I have to buy with my Amazon's gift cards, or you can gift it to me using the link down below of my Amazon wish list. Now that you know my 12 books that I really want to read, what about you? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and remember I'm doing these 10 days of Bookmas from the 16th of December to the 25th of December, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of these videos. I'm gonna leave down below the link to the playlist and my previous Bookmas videos, which is only one, which is day one. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye!